What happens when fame, fortune, and friendship collide in the most famous reality show on Earth? Keeping Up with the Kardashians wasn't just about glam squads, designer handbags, or high-profile drama wit. Was about relationships that stood the test of fame. From laughter echoing through Calabasas mansions to tearful confessions behind closed doors, these BFF moments revealed the heart beneath the Hollywood lights. What made Khloé and Malika's bond unbreakable? How did Kim Kardashian and Jonathan Cheban manage to keep their friendship alive through decades of scrutiny? Tonight we dive deep into top KUWTK BFF moments, Khloé, Malika, Kim, and Jonathan, and more. Where loyalty meets luxury. And every friendship has its spotlight moment. The sun sets over hidden hills, casting golden light over the Kardashian compound. The gates open to another day of laughter, filming, and chaos. Amid the flashes of paparazzi cameras and the soft hum of production crews, one thing always stood out: friendship. Real, raw, sometimes messy, but always loyal. In a world where everything is broadcast to millions, finding a true friend is like striking gold. And yet, in the glitz of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, we found bonds that outshone the diamonds they wore. Let's start with Khloé Kardashian and Malika, the inseparable duo whose friendship became one of the show's most beloved storylines. From the very first season, Khloé and Malika radiated sisterhood. You could see it in every laugh, every eye roll, every "Are you serious right now?" that flew between them. They weren't just best friends, they were each other's lifelines. I remember one day on set, Khloé was going through a tough breakup. The house was silent, tension thick in the air. Cameras were ready, but her spirit seemed dim. That's when Malika walked in, holding 2 milkshakes from their favorite diner, and wearing a grin that could melt the coldest heart. She didn't say much, she didn't have to. They just sat there, sipping milkshakes in silence, and somehow, that moment said everything. That was Khloé and Malika. No drama, no performance, just real love in a world of staged perfection. Their friendship wasn't always smooth, though. Fame tested their loyalty. Remember the season when Malika admitted she struggled with living in Khloé's shadow? Cameras captured her honesty, her vulnerability, as she confessed that sometimes being Khloé's best friend came with its own challenges. But Khloé didn't shy away. She pulled her in for a hug and said, "You're not behind me, you're beside me." That moment's role and reel reminded viewers why their bond was so special. Fast forward to later seasons, and Malika was there through every twist of Khloé's life, through heartbreak, motherhood, and scandal. When True was born, Malika was one of the first people by Khloé's side, holding her hand, whispering strength when the world seemed to crumble. Their connection wasn't built for cameras, it was built for life. Khloé and Malika weren't the only iconic besties on KUWTK. Enter Kim Kardashian and Jonathan Cheban, dynamic duo that defined Hollywood friendship goals. Kim and Jonathan's story wasn't one of childhood buns, it was built on mutual ambition, shared humor, and years of surviving the spotlight together. I remember watching them walk through Beverly Hills, surrounded by flashing cameras, yet completely in their own world. Jonathan never the socialite, ever the comic relief, balanced Kim's calm, composed energy. He wasn't afraid to tell her when she was wrong, and she wasn't afraid to roll her eyes when he was being, well, Jonathan. Their friendship had its iconic heist-to-prank wars. The business brainstorms, the emotional heart-to-hearts about fame and loneliness. One unforgettable KUWTK moment, Kim surprises Jonathan with a massive birthday celebration in Vegas. The look on his face sought her shock. Pure joy was the kind of genuine emotion that even Hollywood can't fake. It was friendship at its finest, thoughtful, extravagant, and completely Kim style. But even Kim and Jonathan faced friction. There was the infamous episode when Kim accused Jonathan of leaking private information to the press. Fans held their breath. Could this be the end of one of KUWTK's greatest friendships? Cameras followed as Kim confronted him, her tone calm but cutting. Jonathan denied it, hurt flashing across his face. "I would never betray you," he said, voice shaking, and she believed him. In that instant, the air cleared. And what remained was trust, a trust built over years of loyalty in a world that thrives on betrayal. Beyond the main pairs, KUWTK had a rotating cast of iconic best friend duos that shaped its emotional backbone. There was Kylie Jenner and Jordan Woods, the friendship that defined a generation. Two young girls growing up in the glare of the public eye, navigating fame, love, and loyalty together. They were inseparable, sisters in every sense. Fans adored their closeness, their playful TikToks before TikTok even existed, their matching outfits, and their late-night confessions. But then came the scandal, the betrayal that shook the Kardashian-Jenner empire. Jordyn Woods and Tristan Thompson. The headlines blazed across every platform, and suddenly, Kylie's world was fractured. I remember that day vividly. The set was quiet, the crew whispering in corners. Kylie was torn between her sister and her best friend. It was one of KUWTK's most emotional storylines, a test of friendship, forgiveness, and self-worth. And while their bond didn't survive the public storm, the lessons it left behind became iconic proof that even in reality TV, heartbreak is very, very real. Meanwhile, Kendall Jenner found her own tribe, her circle of models and creatives who lived life on the runway and off the grid. Her friendship with Hailey Bieber, Gigi Hadid, and others brought a new energy to KUWTK. They weren't about drama, they were about independence, travel, and understated loyalty. Kendall's moments with her friends showed a quieter side of fame. Road trips, laughter, and those intimate glimpses behind the curtain of supermodel life. But one bond that always warmed the screen was between Kourtney Kardashian and her childhood best friend, Simon Huck. Through every love triangle, every argument, Simon stood by Kourtney's side with gentle humor and unshakable support. When Kourtney struggled with co-parenting or felt distant from her sisters, Simon was often the one who brought her back down to earth. Their friendship wasn't loud, it was steady, kind, and deeply genuine. And then there was Scott Disick, ex. But also, strangely, a BFF to nearly everyone in the Kardashian circle. His sarcastic charm and chaotic humor often made him the glue that held the group together. Whether he was roasting Kris Jenner's outfits or getting into playful fights with Kim, his presence added a lighthearted chaos that made every moment unforgettable. As I watched years of Keeping Up with the Kardashians unfold, one truth became undeniable. The friendships on this show were the real stars. Yes, the relationships, the fame, the business empires, all of it mattered. But when the camera stopped rolling, what remained was connection. Khloé and Malika proving that sisterhood can withstand anything. Kim and Jonathan showing that laughter and loyalty can survive the toughest headlines. Kylie and Jordyn reminding the world that love and pain often coexist in the same breath. There's one scene that will always stay with me. It's late night in Calabasas. The cameras are off. The family sits around the table. Khloé, Kim, Kourtney, Kylie, and beside them, their best friends. There's laughter, inside jokes, stories only they understand. The fame fades away, and for a brief, perfect moment, it's just friends sharing a meal, reliving memories, cherishing the bonds that carried them through the madness. As the final seasons rolled in, KUWTK evolved, but the friendships stayed true. When the show ended, fans didn't just say goodbye to a family, they said goodbye to a group of best friends who had become part of their lives. We had laughed with them, cried with them, grown with them, through heartbreaks, weddings, scandals, and milestones. Those friendships were the heartbeat of the series, Khloé once said. Friendship is the family you choose, and for all the glamour and glitter. That was the essence of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Beneath the contour and couture, there were women and men holding each other up, reminding the world that even under the harshest lights, love and loyalty still shine brightest. From Khloé and Malika's unbreakable bond to Kim and Jonathan's hilarious loyalty. From Kylie and Jordyn's heartbreaking fallout to Kendall's quiet independence, every BFF moment was a reflection of what it means to be human, flawed, emotional, yet endlessly devoted. As we look back on top KUWTK BFF moments, Khloé, Malika, Kim and Jonathan, and more, we're reminded that behind every glam squad and every camera angle, there's a story of friendship, sometimes complicated, often messy, but always real, in a world built on image. These friendships gave us something authentic. They reminded us that whether you're a Kardashian, a Jenner, or just someone watching from home, everyone needs that one person who stays, through laughter, through heartbreak, through everything. Because in the end, keeping up wasn't just about fame, it was about keeping close.